Cats today are one of humanity's biggest companions. There are around 220 million owned house cats in the world today. But it hasn't always been this way. Once upon a time, medieval Europe declared war on cats. This was due to a decree introduced by this man, Pope Gregory IX. His decree led to a widespread war on cats throughout Central Europe in the 13th and 14th centuries. And there is a belief that this war on cats may have led to the outbreak of the Black Plague in Europe in 1346, but more on that later. Before we start talking about the medieval war on cats, I want to give you a brief history of the human relationship with cats and how cats ended up in Europe. Humans and cats began living alongside each other domestically around 10,000 years ago, when humans transitioned from nomadic hunter-gatherers to agricultural farmers. Fast forward a few thousand years, and we can see the emergence of some cultures where cats were revered and worshipped, most notably in ancient Egypt. When the Romans conquered Egypt in around 30 BC, they recognized the value of cats for protecting crops. This is because cats would hunt mice. Mice were pests that ate and destroyed crops. Cats helped keep the populations of rodents in check, and therefore increased the amount of food that farmers could produce. This discovery led to the Romans bringing cats over from Egypt to Europe. Now let us fast forward again another 1,000+ years to the Middle Ages and the reign of Pope Gregory IX of the Catholic Church and ruler of the Papal States. Pope Gregory IX is most remembered for his legal persecution of people deemed heretics by the Catholic Church. This was most notably directed towards Jews, but also anything believed to be associated with Satan. Those deemed as heretics were usually executed. Pope Gregory IX wrote a decree in June of 1233 that described cats as vessels of Satan and complicit in witchcraft. He wrote that Satanists worshipped cats because in them they carried the spirit of Satan himself. This led to the mass killing of cats for the rest of the 1200s and beginning of the 1300s. There would be annual festivals solely dedicated to the killing of cats throughout Central Europe. Black cats in particular were targeted by the Catholic inquisitors. The result in this massacre was a sharp decline of the cat population in medieval Europe. There is a theory that this war on cats in the late 13th and early 14th centuries may have been a cause to the Black Plague breaking out in Europe. This is because the decline in the cat population directly led to an increase in the rodent population. The Black Plague was initially carried and spread by fleas that were attached to rodents. The conclusion to this theory is that if cats hadn't been mass slaughtered, they would have been able to keep the rodent population down, and the plague would not have been able to spread as quickly or as widely. However, there is disagreement with this theory. Some scholars argue that the lack of cats hunting rodents had nothing to do with the outbreak, because the Black Plague started in Asia, which did not have a war on cats. We may never know if this war on cats led to the outbreak of the plague in Europe, but it's an interesting theory to think about. The lesson to be learned from this regardless is, be nice to animals. Thank you to everyone who made it to the end of the video. If you liked what you just watched, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I plan to keep producing more content every week.